In the morning. I'm Bob Allison. Rob and I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
This is WNZK, Dearborn Heights, Detroit. Your ethnic superstation at 690 days, 680 nights. WNZK has available a few good hours of airtime for a few good programs to serve their communities. Radio is better than ever in targeting an audience that listens to what you say. Learn more about this exciting radio broadcasting opportunity by calling WNZK Radio at 248-557-3500.
Welcome to the bright side of aging. My name is Ike Engelbaum. I'm a pharmacist and the publisher of AmericanSeniorGazette.org. It has been wisely said, you cannot help getting older, but you can help getting old. It has also been said that age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. My purpose in doing the show is so that seniors and caregivers can share their ideas and questions on how we can age gracefully and in a vertical position for as long as our good genes will allow. And if we've inherited bad genes, how to outwit them. Our topics include senior housing, financial, legal, safety, travel, health issues, interesting senior events in the community, and most of all, tips on how to put old on hold. When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
If you need a helping hand to stay at home, or maybe you'd like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or run errands for you, or maybe you're going to need help with bathing or personal grooming, or you need home renovations to enable you to stay in that home safely and securely. Or maybe you can't leave your home, but you need somebody to come in and do things like a doctor, a nurse, a podiatrist, a dentist, or to have your prescriptions delivered to you. Well, House Calls on Wheels is the answer to all of that. House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. And all the medical services are covered by insurance. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour. So if you or someone you know needs a helping hand at home, call House Calls on Wheels for a free in-home consultation. And that toll-free number is 1-888-489-8980. All right? That's 1-888-489-8980.
And I would prefer, as you may know, but that was Bob Allison's voice, who just left the studio, as they say. Elvis left the building. And I enjoy hearing him and seeing him, and I wish you would repeat the phone number in the old-fashioned way. If you are in need of any of the healthcare services that we're affiliated with, You're welcome to call 1-888-4890. He calls it 0. Why because it all depends on how things are going in life as to how you look at it. And the show is titled Bright Side of Aging. So I try to bring out the positive aspects of aging. And while we're on the air for the next hour, as you may know, the format, the first half hour is Bright Side of Aging, where we promote the positive aspects of aging. And then the second half hour, Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, we promote entrepreneurship. And I don't want to take away from our call-in guest, but the good news is that as an example of how you can look at life on the bright side of aging, as well as be an entrepreneur. And not going to have Lou Goutman give us his age unless he wants to. But he's a wonderful human being, and I'm delighted to have him as an extended family member, whether he likes it or not. And for those of you that listen regularly, Lou is a walking encyclopedia. In fact, the last time I saw him, he looked quite a bit like an encyclopedia. Have you changed your image at all, Mr. Lou Goutman?
They call me Britannica for short.
Hey, listen, well, you got to be very careful as to how you identify yourself, Lou.
Yeah, I know.
These days, there's so many sensitivities that if you say something just in a funny type way, people convert it to some sort of a nasty criticism. And I was philosophizing with my wife this morning how stupid stuff seems to be causing so much havoc. And I really appreciate your thoughts, because you seem to have a certain amount of knowledge about everything.
Well, thank you for that. I'm sure that's not true.
No, listen. I like to use humor, and as you know, since you're the CEO of the Entrepreneurs Network, we always stress the importance of when you have a chance to introduce yourself to be very understandable, as well as add some sort of a zing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our former meetings that we had of the Entrepreneurs Network, we had this dentist visit us, and she identified herself that she did all the kinds of dental work, hygiene, and the rest of it. And she finished it off, says, "I want you to remember me, that I work on the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth." So you operate on the truth and the whole truth.
That's right. That's right. Very good. I like that.
Well, there is more to like, and for those folks that don't know your 60-second elevator pitch, why don't you tell us what is your daily activities that are allowed to be referred or talked about on radio?
Well, thank you. Well, that's not why I called in, but thank you. My purpose is I'm a rainmaker, and what I like to do is I like to help other businesses and organizations promote themselves and make sure that they are remembered, whether it's their business, whether it's a special event, whether it's just keeping in touch with their customers or clients. And that's what we do, and we do that through the printed word, either through the traditional printing method or through promotional advertising products, such as imprinted pens and imprinted keychains and thousands and thousands and thousands of other imprinted items.
Well, you also you're a Mr. Fix-It type as well. So if any seniors are looking for some guidelines. Seems like you know how to at least give people the right direction if you don't have the exact answer. And I've always admired your ability to give good tips. And actually, you also have great information on what scams are out there for seniors and what to watch out for, and also how to stay safe as we age. Our mobility is not what it used to be, and you always have some really practical tips on how people can live their life in a vertical position as long as it's possible. Is that right?
Sure. Well, sure, of course, and you know, and I fit into that category myself, Ike. So
yeah,
I'm considered by many a so-called senior as well. But here's what I wanted to impart before we hit the first break here. And I do consider myself a little bit of a handyman. I learned I'm blessed. I learned from my father, and over the years I managed to collect my own tools. And so minor things around the house I can fix, like faucet repair and maintaining the furnace and maintaining the dishwasher and the washing machine and things like that. I'm not a technician or a mechanic, so when things break, like a major appliance, I do have to call for the specialist. But here's what I wanted to remind the listeners on today's program, and hopefully we still have some listeners who are still listening from Ask Your Neighbor. Mm-hmm. And October is known as Fire Safety Month. Mm-hmm. And what I would like to, in fact, many fire stations a couple Sundays ago had open houses, and so hopefully some of the listeners were able to attend in their respective communities. But here's the main thing. As we approach fall and we're spending more time indoors and the furnaces go on and we start doing more cooking indoors with ovens and cooktops, because most of us like more hearty foods in the wintertime than in the summertime. And also in the summertime, a lot of people don't like to heat up their kitchens by using the ovens or cooktop appliances because, again, it adds heat to the house. So the first thing that I would like to remind everybody is it's a good time to change your smoke detector batteries. And if your smoke detectors are over 10 years old, they should be replaced, the smoke detector themselves. There are now smoke detectors that come with sealed batteries that'll last 10 years. So for those listeners who don't like to replace batteries every year, they can buy a smoke detector at all the major stores, all the hardware stores, all the home center stores, all the warehouse clubs, and the smoke detector will last for 10 years. Mm. It's important to have a smoke detector outside of every sleeping area and inside of every bedroom as well. And so that's number one.
Before you go on, I just wanted to pipe in that many of the fire stations, since you brought up the open houses, they have firemen who volunteer to actually go to seniors' homes to do that as a courtesy. Some communities actually don't charge at all, but it would be wise for listeners to check with their local fire department as to what service they do offer, because a lot of seniors, frankly, should not start climbing ladders, and if they don't have anybody, it's a good way of getting things done. And even some of the church groups many times have volunteers who do that type of thing. So it's one thing to know what to do, but the other key is connecting with the right people that can make it happen. And before we go on, Lou, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, why don't you give your direct phone number if you don't mind?
I don't mind at all. If anybody wants to talk to me directly, they're more than welcome to call me, and there's no charge or cost or obligation or pressure to do anything or buy anything or do anything, just to talk to me, to pick my brain. I can be reached at 248-563-7315. Mm-hmm. And once again, that's 248-563-7315.
Right.
Or you can always call Ike's magic number, 388-888-489-8980.
Right. Well said, sir. I appreciate it. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll come back. You should excuse the expression with number 2.
All right.
What a perverted mind this man has. Okay, anyway, we'll be right back with Mr. Lou Goutman, a Renaissance extraordinaire. I just adopted that title for you, whether you like it or not. We'll be right back. When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
If you need a helping hand to stay at home, or maybe you'd like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or run errands for you, or maybe you're going to need help with bathing or personal grooming, or you need home renovations to enable you to stay in that home safely and securely. Or maybe you can't leave your home, but you need somebody to come in and do things like a doctor, a nurse, a podiatrist, a dentist, or to have your prescriptions delivered to you. Well, House Calls on Wheels is the answer to all of that. House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. And all the medical services are covered by insurance. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour. So if you or someone you know needs a helping hand at home, call House Calls on Wheels for a free in-home consultation. And that toll-free number is 1-888-489-8980. All right? That's 1-888-489-8980.
And welcome back. And I really enjoyed making rounds, so to speak, this weekend. The Area Agency on Aging had their annual exhibit, and it is amazing how many wonderful things there are for seniors as to the resources that are available. And it was great to visit with the exhibitors, since I've dealt with many of them. And it's amazing how many really wonderful things are out there that are available. In many cases, it's for free, and other times they'll give you at least an initial sampling of what they do. And I was very pleasantly surprised as to now how many retirement homes and assisted living centers will offer you, just like in a car dealership, they sort of have you check out the tires or give you an opportunity to drive the car around, guess what? We have a roster of assisted living centers pretty well throughout the whole state of Michigan that are willing to have you stay in the facility for a couple of weeks to see if this is really what's best for you. In the past, you either signed up for some sort of a time commitment. Now there are facilities that actually will allow you to stay there, and you meet with some of the residents, see if these are the type of people you want to spend your days with. And, of course, you can taste the food, and you got the entertainment. It's one thing, to come in for a lunch and tour and then leave and really not know what the nitty-gritty of it is. If you're interested in these facilities, or even better yet, I'm really excited about having added a senior advisor to our House Calls on Wheels, whereas you've heard the commercial, we can provide you in-home care, but also now we can help you in the decision process of which home is for you. So hang on to our number, 888-489-8980, and I have a newsletter titled Bright Side of Aging that I'll be glad to mail you if you will call 888-489-8980. We're planning on putting it on the internet, so that way you can download it at your convenience. And the key is that once you make that transition, you have a lot to consider. How much can I get for my current house? What sort of services are available? There's no charge for the additional service. Our professional senior advisors, as I like to call them, do that as a courtesy to you. And if you're interested in finding out whether you can afford the place as well, I'd like to help you that, even in the moving and the helping of selling your home. So my mission in life is to not only give you advice, but when you need the actual services, that you can turn to us for your help. And when it comes to giving you advice on how you can live safely as well as a productive and balanced life, my good friend and extended family member, Lou Goutman, is a great resource because he's helped so many seniors, especially for those of you who listen to Ask Your Neighbor frequently. Lou usually has some advice for almost any situation, and if he doesn't, at least he knows who you should call. Is that true, Lou? How about that? True, Lou?
Almost always. Thank you. Not always. Sometimes I need a little help too. So.
We all do, and but as I philosophize many times, one of the bright sides of aging, because people are always challenging me, what's so bright about aging? You don't have quite the physical strength you have, and unfortunately you lose members of your family. One of the bright sides of aging is the fact that unlike when you're young, you feel that someone asks you a question, if you didn't know the answer, you felt like you were a dummy or something. As you age, there's nothing wrong. Somebody asks you a question. I don't really know the answer, but because you've been around so long, you know who may have the answers. Wouldn't you say that's an accurate description of one of your talents?
Well, thank you. Yes, I think that's absolutely the truth. That if I don't know, I will certainly tell somebody I don't know, right. And I will try to find the answer or ask one of my dear friends like yourself, Ike, or for those listeners who are just tuning in, Ike is a retired pharmacist, so he has an advanced degree, not only a college undergraduate degree, but he has an advanced degree, and he studied the sciences and especially the health and human sciences. So
Right.
Ike knows a lot, and that's why he does this segment of the show, of course, because he is into health, and he stays fit. He plays tennis at his tender young age, and he knows the benefits, and he knows the benefits, and he eats right. I have breakfast with Ike approximately once a week on a Tuesday morning, and he does eat right. Anyway, getting back to
I'm sorry not to cut you off. I was going to give a plug to how we meet Tuesday mornings at the Stage Deli. It's part of the Optimist Club, right. And this sounds like a mutual admiration, which I guess it is. You were the former president and about to be the next president of the Optimist Club, and I cannot stress the importance of joining with a nonprofit organization like the Optimist Club, the Rotary, Masons, or the Kiwanis. It's a sense of companionship and support that as you age, I made mention you don't have quite all the friends that you grew up with. This is a way to really enjoy life, and no one can replace friendships and family members, but at least you can make an attempt to make new connections. And one of the bright sides of aging is that there are so many organizations out there that are there to help you. And I like to, convey when we do the show some practical measures about how you indeed can take care of yourself, so that, especially since you don't have enough family members around you like you did before, that how you can be more self-sufficient. And Lou, you mentioned about the importance of safety, and you had some other thoughts in that arena. Do you mind sharing it with us?
Yes, we talked in the earlier, before the break, we talked about making sure that everybody has properly operating smoke detectors. And along with that, especially in the wintertime, we want to make sure that everybody has carbon monoxide detectors as well, which will detect any gas leak from your furnace, or carbon monoxide, which is odorless, colorless, and tasteless, but will cause a serious illness or and sometimes death. So you cannot smell or you cannot detect carbon monoxide without a properly operating carbon monoxide detector. Mm-hmm. And if we have a few extra seconds, I'll remind everybody that they should have their furnaces checked. Oftentimes the utility companies will do that at no charge. If not, there are some very, very good furnace and air conditioning companies that have a very, very moderate charge to come out and make sure that your furnace is operating efficiently as well as operating safely, most importantly. And I encourage all the neighbors to do that and to make sure that they change their filters as well. And do that on a regular basis to make them operate efficiently and to, again, keep the air as clean as possible.
Well, those
are my basic tips for today.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it couldn't have happened more timely, as they say, because unfortunately we run out of time for this segment. So stick around, Lou, and we'll talk about entrepreneurship after our brief departure for this segment. And I always like to leave the bright side of aging with one of my favorite thoughts, which is yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. Please enjoy your present by looking and living life with a bright side of aging. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network radio show. Our mission is to interview successful entrepreneurs who are willing to share with us their ideas and experiences, both the successes and the failures. Because as it has been jokingly said, you should learn from the mistakes of others because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. My name is Ike Engelbaum, and I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan, which is a group of motivated people that are all interested in helping each other and achieving our personal and professional goals. Please check out our website, entrepreneursnetworkofmichigan.com, for meeting schedule as well as self-improvement material. Our philosophy is that if it's to be, it's up to me. When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
If you need a helping hand to stay at home, or maybe you'd like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or run errands for you, or maybe you're going to need help with bathing or personal grooming, or you need home renovations to enable you to stay in that home safely and securely. Or maybe you can't leave your home, but you need somebody to come in and do things like a doctor, a nurse, a podiatrist, a dentist, or to have your prescriptions delivered to you. Well, House Calls on Wheels is the answer to all of that. House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. And all the medical services are covered by insurance. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour. So if you or someone you know needs a helping hand at home, call House Calls on Wheels for a free in-home consultation. And that toll-free number is 1-888-489-8980. All right? That's 1-888-489-8980.
And welcome, and hopefully you have on your calendar Thursday mornings of our entrepreneur breakfast meetings. I like to call them and reach out to snobs. If you would like to be a snob, which I love to play with words, SNOB stands for Sharing and Networking Opportunity to Build Your Own Business. My wife criticizes me. That's not an acronym, that's a whole poem. But I want to get the message across. If you are a budding entrepreneur or an existing entrepreneur or a business professional, you can't beat the price. It's free. 9:15 Thursday mornings to 10:30. We meet at the Level 1 Bank. So yes, we can actually show you the money, as the movie line goes. As far as giving you the money, you're going to have to talk to the manager over there. But Level 1 Bank is actually a branch. They've got 10 branches. And the one we meet at is in Bloomfield Hills, southeast corner of Big Beaver and Woodward. The official address is 37100. So if you have an idea that you want to get some feedback from professionals, it's free to attend. We provide you with coffee and snacks so that you don't go out hungry, and you meet a lot of important people that I feel can help you in whatever venture you decide to go into. I'm really excited about actually having the type of talent we have. We have certified accountants, we have attorneys, and of course we're right in the bank, so you can possibly work something out for the financing part. So that's Thursday mornings. If you would like more information, call our toll-free number, 888-489-8980. While we're on the air for the next half hour, feel free to call in if you're considering a business idea and you want our feedback, I should say. I'll be glad to help you, and if I can't help you, I know the CEO of our Entrepreneurs Network. Between he and I can certainly give you some direction that can fulfill whatever dreams you have. And who is the CEO of the Entrepreneurs Network? Well, I'll tell you, Lou Goutman, who's on the phone with me, is our CEO, and he's had extensive experience in helping business people. He's practicing what we always promote: get yourself connected, involved. He's been the former president of the Optimist Club, a founding member, I believe, of the Rotary Club, and has some other networking deals. In fact, he's got so much stuff, I can't keep track of it. So, Lou Goutman, why don't you give us your 60-second elevator pitch?
Good morning, Ike. Thank you. Well, my business is helping other businesses get recognized and remembered by those clients or customers that a business is looking for. And we do this through the printed word, that is through the traditional printing method of flyers, brochures, business cards, banners, signs, and we do it through promotional marketing items such as imprinted pens or imprinted apparel or imprinted any type of giveaway, and they're good for remembering customers, clients, for using at trade shows. We do trade show displays. They're good for client gifts at holiday time, or even employee recognition gifts. A lot of companies do employee recognition. In fact, I'm working on some projects right now. This is the time of year that a lot of companies do that. We're coming up on the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what have you. And
right. Well, you know, what I want to pick up on, and I try to stress about how, you know, people suddenly forget traditional ways of building a business because they're so excited about the technology. There's no doubt that with the internet and Facebook and you name it, LinkedIn, you've got now the ability to reach millions of people electronically. But that's it. It's electronic. What you do, Lou, which I think has to really be in the minds of any business people, is that, hey, you know, they look at the internet and what have you, but if you can leave them something that they look at, and especially what I like about what your style is and why I'm so pleased that you are involved with me on the Entrepreneur Network, is that you even give advice that, hey, you're in this particular business, this might be appropriate as a giveaway. And these are, you actually assist people in setting up their business strategy. Is that correct?
Well, you're absolutely right. What happens, what I found over the years, over many years, is that a lot of startup companies and existing companies don't budget enough money for marketing and advertising. And there are so many different ways to market and advertise, and even, as you mentioned, a lot more than when you and I were growing up. Most people think of advertising as the traditional methods, newspaper advertising or television and radio. And, of course, you have your share of commercials and clients who advertise on your program.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not only one method that works. It's a way of getting your name out to as many people. If you think of the very large companies, the Fortune 100 companies, like the automobile manufacturers, like the beverage companies, Coca-Cola. What does Coca-Cola do? They advertise on TV. They advertise on radio. They advertise point-of-purchase displays in the stores. They sponsor sporting events, many sporting events, and so on. And so, of course, for a startup company, for entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs don't have the kind of budget that Coca-Cola has, of course, for advertising. And that's where we come in, and we can help them figure out the best way to get their products out there. If any of the listeners belong to a warehouse club like Costco or Sam's Club, they know that as they walk through the warehouse, that Sam's Club and Costco are sampling typically food products throughout the day, and every day there's a one or two different food products. Why do they do that? Because they think if you like that product, you're going to go to the shelf or to the refrigerator or the freezer, and you're going to pick that product up, and you're going to take it home with you. Mm-hmm. So that's a great method of advertising for companies that do that. I think I told you, like, the story of the woman I talked to a couple of weeks ago who makes pierogies, and she sells them frozen. She has a commercial kitchen. She sells them frozen, and right now she's selling them at the Royal Oak Farmers Market on Saturdays. But she's expanding her horizons, and one of the things that she does is she samples the pierogies.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I want
so there are lots of ways to and lots of methods to advertise and promote, and yes, we and you help me with that oftentimes as to what is the best way, or what are the best ways to promote your company, your organization, your event, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, you remind me of something that I try to pitch as frequently as is possible, that with all the electronic ways to get out there with the internet and Facebook and what have you, I want to pursue human being to human being marketing. We've gotten away from it, and just like this woman that you referred to, a food product, obviously a simple way is to go to a place where people go for food, and she's got a sample. But if you're dealing with non-food items, tie in to trade shows that will appeal to the type of audience you're trying to get to. And you briefly mentioned that you actually can prepare the sales material that you should have on the table. So,
absolutely.
And that's so important because, in a way, and maybe this is oversimplification, but you're always encouraged to have a business card, because that's your way of introducing yourself to someone, and hopefully they don't throw your business card away right after you leave them. But if it's a meaningful business card and identifies what you do, when they need your service, you got something physical for them to remember. So likewise at a trade show, you have the opportunity to meet eyeball to eyeball with people that are there. And actually, if you have the right promotional material, and this, is something that I don't mind sharing with you, as I like to have certain titles of sayings. I have a series of Ikeisms, okay? And one of them, as far as being remembered and all, is having something that the person can walk away that's clever enough that they'll remember you. And the truth of the matter is that you have so much, you have limited amount of time when you're just giving out a business card. But if you've got something meaningful, and you can do it cleverly. The Ikeism states that the next worst thing to not knowing is not knowing that you don't know. Okay,
That's right.
And people take, hey, I printed this on my computer, and they're so excited because it cost them a few pennies. Well, guess what? It looks like a couple of pennies. You can take that word, and because of your experience, make that flyer something that the people will hang on to. So if you are stuck with ideas and how to put it together, Mr. Lou Goutman can help you, and not only with the idea, but putting it into to print. And I'm going to give you another tagline, Mr. Lou Goutman, before we take our break. Mr. Lou Goutman can be branded that if you think it, Mr. Lou Goutman can print it. Whoa! Heap of wisdom there. We'll be right back with hopefully a little more wisdom, and we'll be talking about networking as to how to be more effective at it and what it really is. Don't you go away. We'll be right back with Mr. Lou Goutman. Wow! When it's time to move, don't trust all your memories and most prized possessions to just some guys with a truck. Get personalized first-class treatment from bonded and experienced moving professionals. If you're confused about all the details involved in moving from one household to another, call 1-888-489-8980. Is always the concern of who should I call about the utilities? How shall I handle my household appliances? What should I do about my pets? What do I need to handle in advance of the move? For a free brochure titled Practical Hints to Make Moving Day Easier, call Aberdeen Van Lines at 1-888-489-8980. We can even help you in selling your home or any furniture that you may no longer wish for your next move. Let Aberdeen help make your move a dream. So call 1-888-489-8980 now.
If you need a helping hand to stay at home, or maybe you'd like somebody to provide transportation or grocery shopping or run errands for you, or maybe you're going to need help with bathing or personal grooming, or you need home renovations to enable you to stay in that home safely and securely. Or maybe you can't leave your home, but you need somebody to come in and do things like a doctor, a nurse, a podiatrist, a dentist, or to have your prescriptions delivered to you. Well, House Calls on Wheels is the answer to all of that. House Calls on Wheels provides both medical and non-medical services in your home. And all the medical services are covered by insurance. The non-medical services start as low as $10 an hour. So if you or someone you know needs a helping hand at home, call House Calls on Wheels for a free in-home consultation. And that toll-free number is 1-888-489-8980. All right? That's 1-888-489-8980.
And welcome back. And I want to remind you, tomorrow morning and every Thursday morning, 9:15 to 10:30, please join us for a free continental-type breakfast, coffee and snacks. And we meet at the Level 1 Bank, 37100 Woodward, southeast corner of Woodward and Big Beaver. That's in Bloomfield Hills. We not only get a chance to do our 60-second elevator pitch, but we develop friendship with the other people that we normally wouldn't get a chance to meet. And we try to limit our group to around 25 people so that everybody gets a chance to not only introduce themselves, but also to be able to talk to each other afterward. It's called networking. And who's going to show up to an Entrepreneurs Network meeting except for people that are business orientated and want to make the connections? But a lot of people hear the word networking and their eyes sort of glaze over. What does that really mean? And I'd like to cover just a few key points about networking. And Lou Goutman, who's the CEO of our Entrepreneurs Network and has been very successful in helping businesses get started. I just wondered, Lou, as far as your interpretation of networking, what advice would you give someone?
Well, thanks, Ike. When you meet somebody for the first time at a networking event, whether it's through our group, the Entrepreneurs Network, somebody at a trade show, or if you're networking at a local Chamber of Commerce event, I think that the most important thing is to, when you first meet somebody, is to ask how you might be able to be of service or help that man or woman. And in other words, what can I do for you, or what type of customer or client are you looking for? And that, as opposed to kind of tooting your own horn right away. Certainly the other person will want to know what it is that you do and how you can help. But when you network, the idea is to trade referrals, if you will. That's kind of the ultimate goal. And I've attended networking events where people have just automatically come up to me and shoved their business card right at me without saying anything else. Here's my card, and I think that's and I'm not offended by that, but I don't think that's the right approach.
Well, I hate to disagree with you, but in my opinion, one of the keys, and this is not something that you automatically jump on, is I like the thought of reading people. You can pretty well tell when you're meeting somebody if they're eyeball-to-eyeball contact with you as to whether they seem to be pleased that you're in front of them. And if you have someone that's not even looking at you and looking elsewhere to see if there's somebody else that they should be talking to, and you shove the business card in front of them, they find it really pushy, and you can destroy a potential relationship just from the fact that, hey, I'm not ready to get your business card. In my opinion, the real sharp, successful networkers are the ones that will sort of hold back and set it up so that the person, if they are indeed interested, asks for your business card.
Exactly.
Don't shove it.
Exactly. That is exactly what I'm getting at.
Right.
And you have experienced that many times, and that's my experience. If people are interested, they'll say, well, do you have a card? And I say, sure, I'm happy to give you my card. And then I ask for their card if they haven't already given it to me. And I think the other important thing is, Japanese businessmen, and I do use the word businessmen because the culture is traditionally male. That's probably changed a lot. So if I'm incorrect on that, I apologize. I don't mean to sound sexist. But in Japan, when a business person hands you their business card, it's important to hang on to that card and to look at it and read it and know who you're talking to and know the company or the organization, rather than taking that business card and just putting it in your pocket or your wallet or your purse, if in the case of a woman, or a handbag or something of that nature. And until you're done talking to that person, until the conversation is over, you should not put it away. You should hold on to it. So it'll also remind you of the person's name if that person isn't wearing a name tag, for example. But it's the polite thing to do, and as I say, that comes from business in Japan. That's the way Japanese businessmen do business, and I think that's a good habit to get into, to look at the card that way.
And I want to pick up on something about business cards themselves. It's a good idea on the back of the card to write down the date and where you met them, because a lot of people think, hey, I've done my thing and they're done. Your real success, first of all, you can't sell on the spot, which is a definite dynamite don't try to make a pitch and close a sale when you're meeting somebody for the first time. You don't even know if they want to really even talk to you, but at least if they express an interest, write down the event that you're at, and then if you're sharp at networking, you follow up within 48 hours for anyone that's expressed an interest in talking to you. Another very important thing of a dynamic do, as I like to call them, is ask, hey, many times they seem very friendly at the time, and they say, yeah, let's get together. So, well, what's a good day for me to get back to you? Find a convenient time that you can follow up on. But the biggest one is you don't shove your business card out.
Right.
That's a terrible. But if you do, then Lou can actually print it up in such a way that is eye-catching. And the business card, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lou, should have somewhere in the name of what you do versus having some generic way PLC Enterprises. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, and Ike, I know that's one of your biggest pet peeves is when somebody hands you a business card and it says Johnson and Associates and it says Tim Johnson, President, and a phone number and an address. And you wonder what the heck does Johnson and Associates do?
Right.
And you're absolutely right. The card should not only have the company name or the organization name, but it should tell a little bit about what, especially in the case of a business as opposed to a nonprofit organization.
Right.
It should tell what industry that business is in. I absolutely agree. Well, are you a baker? Are you in automotive manufacturing? Are you an engineer? What does Johnson and Associates do? That's something I picked up from you, and I pay attention to that now when I go to chamber events and see cards that are like that. I say, what the heck does this company do?
Well, one thing I got to do right now, unfortunately, Lou, how about that, is wrap up our conversation for today, and we'll definitely have to schmooze, as we call it, again soon. And always a delight to have you on the air and share your experience and knowledge. And you generally try to attend our meetings as well. Right now, unfortunately, we run out of time, but I do hopefully have enough time for my favorite parting thought, which is if you really want to get anything done in life, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And there is no excuse for not achieving your dreams and goals in America, because it is the greatest country in the whole world. Remember, a goal is just a dream with a deadline.
WNZK has available a few good hours of airtime for a few good programs to serve their communities. Radio is better than ever in targeting an audience that listens to what you say. Learn more about this exciting radio broadcasting opportunity by calling WNZK Radio at 248-557-3500. This is WNZK, Dearborn Heights, Detroit. Your ethnic superstation at 690 days, 680 nights.